Hi, my name is Oindrila and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you an update on my spiritual journey and what meditative practices you can adopt even if they don't look like the ones that you see around you which are advertised the most or promoted the most. And in my previous video, I had spoken a little bit about, shared with you the experiences I've had with various spiritual organizations and that I'm still looking for a path that felt sustainable and authentic to me. So I'm going to share an update about that, and as you may have seen in some of my other videos on this channel that I have been practicing and preaching Indian classical dance of Odissi. Indian classical dances are spiritual in nature, which means that the original audience of these dances when they used to be done in temples were gods and goddesses and not the general public. Now if you have seen my other video about spirituality, then you would know that I'm an atheist, which means that I do not believe in God, in the existence of God, and therefore you may ask that how does an atheist like me practice and preach a dance which is meant for gods and goddesses, and I'm going to share that with you in a bit. Now, how I got initiated into this dance was when I was a kid. Like most parents put their kids in extracurricular classes, my mom put me in Odissi dance classes, and it would be safe to say that I was the least interested and least dedicated student. I was painfully shy because the thought of dancing in front of people, much less on stage, was not something that was very appealing or even comforting for me. And dance was never something I would do because I liked it. I would just do it because my mom would nag me to practice at home, otherwise I wouldn't. Then I did manage to shake off a little bit of that shyness and reluctance, and I did go on to perform in school events, and then eventually I formed and led a dance group in college. But that was that, and then after that I went in the direction of my chosen career, which was business and marketing, and I moved around a lot. So in the next 10 years I moved at least 9 times the last time I checked, and I still tried to get dance back into my life in some shape or form, but either I wouldn't click with the teacher or my lifestyle wouldn't permit me to do so. Even though dance wasn't the focus of my life, I tried to be in touch with it in some shape or form, and I was still looking for a teacher up until March 2020. And then you know what happened, the pandemic struck, so I resigned myself to my fate that I would not be able to get Odissi back into my life. However, something else happened. I had been pursuing spirituality, as you know, and I had tried everything: journaling, chanting, meditating, running, and many other things to attain my spiritual path, to find my spiritual path. And nothing seemed to work out. Whatever I would do would work for some time and then it wouldn't. I would see other people around me, be it on the internet or in my own personal network, who would be taking to one form very well and being consistent in it, and I would feel something is wrong with me, which means that either I'm not consistent enough or I'm not dedicated enough, and nothing seems to stick in the long term. Until I came across this Instagram post by a spiritual coach I used to follow, and he said that different types of meditation work for different people. So there is some kind of personality match that has to happen, and meditation need not look the same for everyone, which was very validating because that made sense to me. Like, I just felt that it's not that I'm not dedicated enough, it just needs to be something that works for me and speaks to me and is authentic to me. He also mentioned some of the other ways, alternative ways of meditating and healing, and one of them was ancestral dance, or dance which your ancestors were doing. And he said that if you move your body in the ways that your ancestors were doing, any sort of tribal dance, then that can be very healing. And then I read somewhere else that stamping the ground can be grounding, can be healing as well. And for someone like me who spends a lot of time in her head, which is up in the air, I do lack that connection with the ground and with reality. And that is a very good way for someone who spends a lot of time in their heads to balance themselves by grounding themselves and spending more time on the actual ground. So I thought Odissi checked both the boxes of being my ancestral dance, which means it's more than 2000 years old. It's supposed to be 2000 years old. I believe it's older than that. So my ancestors were doing it in some shape or form for sure. And it definitely has a lot of footwork, fast and intricate footwork, which makes you stamp the ground and therefore grounds you. So I approached this dance from a purely meditative purpose. And as they say, when the student is ready, then the teacher arrives. I found a teacher in June 2020 and have been dancing since then. And they say that about Odissi, it leads to moksha, which is liberation from the cycle of life, death, and sufferings. So I say that I don't know about attaining moksha or salvation in this lifetime, but I've definitely attained liberation from going to the gym, because I've not gone back to the gym in the past 1.5 years, and I do not intend to ever go back. In my previous video about my experience with spiritual organizations, I had mentioned that I'm still looking for ways which felt authentic and sustainable to me, and someone had commented in the comments. I'll try to find that comment and put it up here. But what I took away from that comment was that if you perform or do any activity with full focus without thinking about anything else, then that is equal to meditation. That made a lot of sense, and that really validated the meditative and the healing benefits I was already feeling from my dance, because I needed that validation, I guess. Like most human beings, as much as I like to or want to believe that I don't need validation, that really validated what I was already feeling, that I am feeling grounded and healed and just getting the benefits of meditation, but without doing meditation. I still continue to look for ways to augment my spiritual journey, and I'd love for you to tell me what your meditative practices are in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.